So hello and welcome to another Wraggys Beers, Wines and Spirits review. I do apologise, I think the weekend and the cold and a lot of laughing, talking, and that's took away my voice. But in any case, this is one of those reviews that I'm actually chuckling at because it's Harpers Brewing's Plum Porter. Now the funny thing is, as we know, two of the best plum beers in the country, without a shadow of a doubt. Well, there are actually four if you count all three iterations of Titanic Brewery's Plum Porter, but we'll just go for two. So, Titanic Brewery do an amazing Plum Porter. St. Peter's also do an amazing Plum Porter. And this is Harper's Brewing Plum Porter. Their style is a total rip-off of Titanic Brewery. So I've got my Titanic Brewery glass out tonight to make it, see if it feels any better. 4.8% Harper's Brewing Company. Yeah. Ooh, is it Marston's? If I was Marston's, I would be. You know, if you're ripping off a fellow beer maker's brand, and let's make no mistakes, ALDI are a little bit on the naughty side for their ripping off of fellow brands. Now, if you're cloning a brand and you're bloody good at it, and it tastes good or even better than the original, then fair play, because you've just shown up the original brand. So in some ways, that's quite interesting. Let's see. So it says on here, beer with plum flavouring. Yep, it says bugger all, as usual. 4.8%. This beer contains a single serving. Hell yes. It's your beer. So anyway, let's go. So thank you to my friend, my wife's friend Lisa, for buying me this. If you ever watch these beer reviews, you probably don't. But I like to give credit where credit's due. That is it's a raggy thing. Credit where credit's due. Not enough of it in this world. So yeah. The Titanic clone Plum Porter from Harpers. Right, let's see how the cookie crumbles. Now, really, the proper way to do this, in reality, was to get a bottle of Titanic and bash it against this, and a bottle of St. Peter's and bash it against this. And as a lover of plum porters, it will come at some stage. I will get another bottle of each, and we'll have a battle of the plum porters. So I'm cooking dinner. The wife's not well. She's got a cold, but she's got it far worse than me. So, looks like a black pour to me. Light tan head. It's certainly not white. Not getting much on the nose, to be honest. I got a hint of malt at the beginning. The temperature of the shed is room temperature, which means it is at the moment, it is, God, it's actually 15 degrees in here. Jesus Christ, that's actually quite warm. So, there's a really, really, really muted plum aroma to it. Cheers all. I mean, the head's not bad if you look at the head. If you didn't know about Titanic and St. Peter's, this is where you will review it from. You won't review it after drinking them. You review it as a standalone beer. But obviously, if you have drunk them before, then you know what the crack is. But we'll go down that road anyway. This is what it is. To be sure. Yeah, right. No. Where's the fucking plum? Jesus, mother of Christ. If you're going to emulate one of the best breweries in the country doing plum porter, at least make it a sweet plum taste. Jesus Christ. I'll let you into a little secret. I absolutely love Titanic's Plum Porter. I absolutely love St. Peter's Plum Porters. I've done multiple reviews on this on the channel. I've done a battle versus Titanic versus St. Peter's. I've drank 2 of the 3 iterations of Titanic Plum Porter, both Titanic's Plum Porter and the Grand Reserve Plum Porter, the port infused Grand Reserve. I've not actually tried the other Grand Reserve Plum Porter. One of these days I'll get all 3. I am going to sort out a brewery tour, and we're going to go over, me and a good mate. He don't know yet, but he will do. I'll buy the tickets, force his hand, and we'll go over 100 quid, go and buy everything in the shop, all the stuff I have not already got. Bit of merch. I want a Titanic brewery t-shirt. You know how it is. But I've got to say, people, oh dear, oh flipping dear. So, whoever made this, if your inclination was to copy off Titanic, and I may sound like some of the beer reviewers out there who just do beer reviews just to slag companies off. That is not the way I do beer reviews. I don't do it that way. Never have, never will. However, when there's a wrong, there's a wrong. This is a wrong. You stole the old style, very nearly, of Titanic's Plum Porter. They know it. We all know it. And your beer's not even that plummy. It's a hint, and I do mean a subtle hint. Anybody's tasted Titanic's Plum Porter, this is nothing like it. I'm sorry to my Titanic glass. Don't worry, it'll all be over soon. I listen to other beer reviewers, certain beer reviewers, and you listen to them and you think, oh my God. There are a lot of great beer reviewers out there. We all have different days as well. Some days you'll drink something that don't taste right and you're like, most of us do not pour a beer down the drain because we don't, it's not our thing. But I understand all elements. I've done it once in 3,000 reviews. Not all my beer reviews are getting counted as reviews now because I'm doing some as shorts, especially the stuff on draft. None of that's being counted anymore towards my reviews. It's so there's probably more. You look at the videos I've done, you'll see how many reviews I've done on the whole, at least. But in any case, oh dear. Don't rush out. Don't think it's Titanic. Don't even think it's St. Peter's, or don't even think it's any of the other big Plum Porters or Stouts. Now, who made this? Come on, who made it? Now, it certainly wasn't Harpers. It was made for ALDI. And I do ask myself, all the brewers I know locally, they pride themselves on what they brew because their name's on it. As a gardener, I pride myself on every single day I'm at work because you're judged on every single day of work. Quite rightly. If you have a crap day and there's a reason behind it, I mean, you fall down the manhole and nearly break your foot. Obviously, your work rate might not be as high as it probably normally is. The last week, I've struggled. Got to be honest, it is what it is. But my love of gardening will never change. I'm not that sort of person who does a crap job. Don't do it. Never will. Never. Always try and do the best. I was taught that way. I was taught by the best in the country to be the best. And some people may not agree with me. East Midlands in bloom, Britain in blooms, Entente Florel, RHS Excellence in Horticulture. I was the one who for 4 years was putting the choosing all the flower beds, part of the flower bed schemes in Nottingham, planting them flower bed schemes, keeping them going. I bloody hell know what I'm doing. But you look at that in a brewery. The tangent went off because of this thing. You're a brewer. You're brewing beer. Yes, you're brewing it for these ALDI. Yeah, you're brewing it for ALDI. So obviously, cost cuttings have to be made. Understandable. We all get it. But surely, as a brewer, and I'm talking to any other brewers out there who are willing to talk publicly. I'm not affiliated to no one. And I would obviously never slag my workplace off because I absolutely love it. I do. Saved my life. I do mean that. But anyway, let's get on. As a brewer, you brew beer. You don't brew crap beer because all brewers would be offended by putting it out there. I know a local brewer is in the top 50 on Untapped now. Is a one-man band. And because it wasn't for his high standards, he binned it, poured it all away. And I mean, I would have gladly gone across and drank a few pounds just to, hopefully test it and see, make sure it was okay, as you do. But, Plum Porter, maybe in name, I'll go as far as I can. And plum flavouring, yeah, subtle, supremely subtle. Oof. Out of probably all the beer reviewers, and I do mean all the beer reviewers, I have a love of plum porters like none of them. I don't know, I don't know. There's a lot of people who review beers, a lot of great lads and lasses, a lot of great lads. And but I have a real love of plum porters. I've drank a hell of a lot of it. It's a speciality beer for me. Absolutely bloody love it. I won't go to bed with it, but pretty close. You know what I mean? But anyway, without going off too off on a tangent, it's you only need to look back at previous reviews I've done on the channel, especially a battle of the plum porters. I've an absolute love of what I do. I've not tried Elgood's plum porter yet. I want to try it. I can't get it in Nottinghamshire. It's just one of those things, isn't it? I don't know how it compares to Titanic and St. Peter's. One of these days, I will try it. I will get it, and I will try that bottle. So it bloody offends me when somebody clones the look of Titanic and the beer is not in any way, shape or form anywhere close to it. This is the full review. Let me remind you also on my reviews, the 1 minute reviews are bish bash bosh reviews in absolute shortest sense. These are the proper reviews where you get a true analysis and banter and a bit of Wraggy Avenue. People forget Wraggy Avenue. Yeah. One day, some local brewery, maybe, might actually do a Wraggy Avenue Imperial Stout. It may happen one day. Will it? God knows. But hopefully, I have a passion for beers that's as passionate as any of these brewers out there. I love the industry, and my passion to explore, to learn is absolutely at the forefront of everything I do. It's a hobby, isn't it? We all do beer reviews for a reason. 99.9% of us do it because it's a bloody hobby. And we like a beer, and we like to talk about it, and we find it interesting. Fair play. Obviously, there's the side that want to do it for a bit of money, to make a living out of it. I can understand that as well. I do understand that. And unless you're getting silly views, you ain't getting any of that. So you might as well forget about that. Unless you can do something, beer reviewing is a niche product. You know, unless you're doing some, I mean, a lot of people do food reviews. Not for me. I can do food reviews, but I'll be blatantly awful because there's a lot of shite out there. But I understand, and I can't criticise because we all do whatever we do. I myself, if I could afford it, which I can't, you know, I'm a single working family. You know, my wife, we have an autistic son, so she stopped working to take care of him because he was 2.5 years behind at school at age 6, which shows you how critical, you know, it was getting for us, you know. And he's actually caught up now, so fair play, he's done well. We still have issues and that, but we, you know, in everything in life, money is never, ever the thing that is our striving. You know, to have a bit of money to do things is lovely. You know, it's lovely to go to theme parks and that, and it's something we do want to try and do as much as we can if we can afford it. You know, we're all sensible, aren't we? Most of us live in the real world. You know, those of us who've got plenty of money, well, fair play to you. But those who haven't have to live in that real world where we scrimp and save, maybe do a job on the side, private jobs at the weekend, and that sort of thing, just to survive. At the moment, and especially moving forward for the next few months, surviving is going to be critical. You've overcome COVID, but then we're going through the next phase of it. There was always going to be more phases, and the next phase is the stupid pumping up of prices. I swear they do it just to piss everybody off. But in any case, so yeah, I'm definitely getting a little bit of plum now, but it is so subtle, really subtle. It's not, if I'm looking at it as a beer without knowing Titanic and St. Peter's, then yeah, a very subtle hint of plum on the nose, a very subtle hint of plum on the taste. If I didn't know that anything about the branding, if I was a total newbie to it all, 3.9 out of 5. But this beer reviewer knows that that's supposedly a clone trying to be smart. For me, against Titanic's, you're looking at a 2.5. In essence, if you're going to clone anything, be better, not worse. Cheers all. Do you agree? Copy below, comment below. Cheers.